Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how to make a salsa. There's a lot of recipes on the internet and I think that a lot of them, or almost all of them, make a fundamental mistake, and that is to not list enough salt or lime juice in the recipe. And that really makes a difference between an okay salsa and something that will make people scoop it up like it's crack or something. So the ingredients are obviously lime and salt, as I mentioned, but a lot of the recipes I'll show you, they just are very stingy on the amounts. So the other typical ingredients are tomatoes, red onion, coriander, chilies. Garlic is an optional one, no one really does that. I just do it to add a bit of flavour, and pepper. Proportions are also quite important, so for every 4 or 5 big-ish tomatoes, you'll want 1 red onion, to give you a sort of idea. I actually kind of wish I had 5 tomatoes, but I don't, so hey-ho. Just to show you what I mean about all these recipes having stingy amounts of lime, look, that says half a lime for 4 to 6 tomatoes. That's not right. Also here, 2 tablespoons of fresh lime juice, salt to taste. This recipe here didn't even have salt. And then we got this thing here. I mean, another thing that annoys me, so many recipe websites have these stupid pictures and stories before they even get to the ingredients. I served this salsa at my birthday party. Okay, thank you. You have to scroll all the way down until you find the ingredients. Where is it? Yeah, so half a teaspoon of salt. That is not going to bring out any flavour, especially if you've got a big ass bowl of salsa. Another thing I recommend is to chop your vegetables as small as possible so it can get scooped very easily by the nachos. You'll need a very sharp knife to do that. If you don't, you can just use a serrated knife on the tomato. And another thing is, yeah, make sure the onion is cut as small as possible, because no one wants a big piece of onion in their mouth, really. So I've chopped that tomato quite nice and fine, but what I'm going to quickly do is actually strain it, the juice, because I want a bowl of salsa, not a bowl of piss. So how am I going to do this with one hand? Like that. Put that there. And then this like that. And strain off some of that juice. And I'll get rid of that tomato juice. I have no use for it. If you forget and add the lime juice, don't strain it after that. Just leave it. Don't bother. It's okay. Also, another thing I wanted to say is that don't skip out on the coriander. If you're one of those people like, meh, I don't like coriander, well, you might as well dip Walker's Crisps into some ketchup, you uncultured swine. So the final bit of proportions is the salt, lime and pepper. How much black pepper? I don't know. That much maybe? There's already chili in there, so it doesn't need too much. These limes feel quite juicy, so I'm going to use 2 to start with and see how I go, and use these ones maybe. You do want to actually be able to taste the lime. That is quite important. You want it to be nice, soury and salty. Now, the more difficult thing to explain is how much salt you want to use, and that's a fucking lot of salt. I'm going to use 2 very, very big giant pinches of salt and go from there. When I mix it all together, it will taste quite salty at first, but after half an hour, when the juice is dispersed and the salt dissolves, it will taste quite amazing. It does depend on the salt you're using. If you're using like a table salt, you probably need to use a bit more, or a cheap supermarket brand, way even more. Yes, different types of salts have different saltiness, believe it or not. Okay, I've given that a nice stir. Now I just need to quickly test it. Is it salty enough, and is there enough lime? Let's see. Yeah, that's I think that's salty enough. I can taste the salt. Needs more lime, so I'm actually going to use the rest of the lime. So that's it then. I added the extra lime, and I'm going to wrap this in cling film and put it in the fridge for half an hour whilst the acidity from the lime reacts with the vegetables and the salt will further disperse and dissolve, leaving a very, very nice bowl of salsa. If you make it like this and give it to people, it will always get finished up. None of it will go to waste, and that will last in the fridge for, I don't know, a few days, I don't know. But it will get finished before then, so yeah. Enjoy!